Okay, so welcome back to Unity. Your scene should look like this still. The only difference I've got here is I've just brought in my high poly tree just to have a look at it in place, just to make sure the size was fine. I haven't changed it since we modelled it, so it's still exactly the same. Same size, same everything. I just put it in place because I wanted to look at it, and I've just stuck a material on there because I was doing some experimenting. But I've not done anything that you haven't seen, so ignore that big white blob there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is select the terrain, and you can see we've got this checkered floor which we need to get rid of now because we have our four base textures that we're going to use. So select it over here, just go edit textures, remove. We no longer need that. Go to your folder go to your folder here where you've stored all of your terrain files in terrain folder, and you've got them all in a nice neat bunch of folders. So bring in the earth ones first. So you don't need the roughness because you've copied that into your base color, so you just need these two. Make sure you get your terrain folder open in here and drag these in like that, so they come in and they look like that. Go back out and let's just have a look at these. So now we're going to use our earth base color as our first texture for our terrain. So we're going to edit textures, we're going to add a texture, and you can see here our albedo is going to be this, and our smoothness is in the alpha, and you can see the A there to represent that. So albedo is in the RGB, which we have, and our smoothness is in the alpha, which we have. And there's a slot for our normal, and once we set this up, our metallic slider will appear. So let's just bring this base color in, the first one, like that. Let's pull in our earth normal like that, and we need to fix that. So select it here and texture type, go to normal map, and then click apply like that. Just bring that in again. Just delete that, and then yeah, there you go, it's better. It was already in its slot, so just have to update it. Okay, so you can see now this is set up, and we've got our metallic slider, but we'll look at that in a minute. And just go add, and you can see instantly, fantastic, that we've got a muddy forest. In fact, the whole forest should be muddy. Wow, what a transformation! Instantly transforms it, and that is pretty cool. First go, look at that. There's some whiteness in there, but that's not so bad. It looks like they look like stones sort of sticking out the mud, which is pretty cool. I'm excited by that. Let's just go back into our material again and have another look. So select terrain over there, select the texture, and go to edit texture. Okay, so we have our metallic slidiness here. We know that it's not metallic, so we can keep it down, off. It's just double checking. And we've got a size 15 by 15 in the end. If you remember, ours before was 4 by 4, so that is way too big. Let's just try 4 by 4. I think that's too small now from what we had before. Yeah, it's lost it. Okay, let's just make it 8 by 8. So we're doubling it up slightly. I mean, this is the base layer as well, so it doesn't really matter too much. Just click apply. Take another look. We just want to make sure it sits nicely. That's cool. Not so sure about these bits in here. Okay, let's continue to the next one. So that's a good start. What a great start that is. Okay, so that's a good start. Yeah, okay, so let's bring in our next one. So stones, go to our stones, bring in the base color and the normal for our stones here. So select these two and bring them in into Unity, drag them into the folder like that, and we want to edit and add a texture. Again, click on the normal and select normal map and click apply, so it sets it up as a normal. Okay, now drag this one into the albedo smoothness slot and that one into the normal like that. Our other one was set to 8, so we have to change this to 8 by 8. Click add. Okay, now if we go back to our terrain, we've got 2. So now we can paint with one or the other. So if we select this one, we can paint with it. Seeing that it's not good. It's too glossy. How did we set up? Let's go back into that edit texture. That there is coming from pretty good though, actually. Apart from the white glittering bits, that's not bad. That's pretty good. That's kind of what we want. We want that texture and those stones. If we change our brush so that it's not so strong, a bit. There you go. So it's coming through a little bit now on the mud. So you're getting a really nice blend. It really breaks it up. What we've got to go and do is sort this glinting out, because that's not good. I think that's in the roughness channel. So it looks like that is incorrect, in fact. Now we're going to have to go in and edit the texture on that, because that's not nice. But you get the idea. You can see it's going to work. Let's start. So before we do that, we'll bring in all the others, and we'll see what sort of blend we're getting. Then any changes we can make, we can do them all at once. Okay, so just click apply on there. You know, if you wanted, so I've painted stones here. If you wanted to get the earth back, you just select the earth and get your brush size and just paint, really. So you can bring your earth back. Okay, so let's get the next one in. That's it. So let's do the plants one. Get that in. Drag that into our terrain folder. Like that. Let's not forget to do... Oh, don't forget to do the normal map. Plants, normal. To make it normal map type, apply. Okay, cool. Now drag the base color and drag the normal map. We don't need to change the metallic, and that's 8 and that's 8. Good one. Add. Okay, so let's check this one out. This is the plants texture. find a space. Very flat. It's very flat. And it's got glitty problems. Okay, so that's not good. I'll have to, that's another one to the list. So both roughness of the stones and the plants need looking at. That looks too icy. Looks like ice. So that's not a good look. No, it's not. Let's just try in a bit more light all around the tree. No, that's not great. Let's bring in another one. Let's bring in the grass and see what that's like. Okay, don't forget the normal, like that. Okay, don't forget to change the normal. Yeah, texture type equals normal map. There we go, and I click apply. Okay, let's bring up the terrain. Terrain, let's add texture. Okay, so drag the grass into there and drag the normal into there. Don't need to change that. Metallic, make that 8 and make that 8. There you go, add. Yeah, okay, I was just checking I've got 8 on those two as well. So, okay, let's just have a look at that. Oh, that's all glinty as well. Okay, I've got problems with the roughness channel. I need to go and fix. And you know, you're going to get these problems always. Not necessarily this particular problem, but you know, things just pop up and you have to go and fix them. And I've left it in because it's important for you to see problems that pop up. And it's probably just well, I think I know what it is. It's just too much brightness in the roughness map, and the roughness is quite a noisy texture as well. So the pixels are catching the light when the normal sort of hits in the right direction. So that's why you're getting that pixely look. And yeah, something's not right. Definitely, and that grass is really not working. It looks icy and wet. Okay, so let's go and check them out and go and fix them. Okay, so I've got to make some changes. So let me tell you what I've done here. I've added a new point light just so I can see what's going on. Quite easy to do. Just come over here, right click and go to light, point light. Click there and you'll see it in your scene. It'll appear there, like you can see it in the distance. Just go find it and bring it to this position. And I've got mine here. And it just lights up the area a lot better. So we can see what's going on. The nightlight was a bit harsh, and it was hard to see anything. So this makes it really clear. I mean, I could have changed the nightlight, but I chose to just to add this light. So let me go through the changes that I've made. I've painted a bit more of the texture in here and there. For starters, just so I can get a better idea of what's going on. If you've got any of your normal maps that look wrong, just go in and check that you did export them as OpenGL, because I didn't. I missed a couple, and my normals on my grass and my plants were flipped and they were wrong. That was part of the problem. So I went in and I flipped the green on 2 of the normals, and now they're fine. So the other thing I did was adjust the roughness channel on a couple of them. Let me go and show you the plants one. Here it is. Now you can see it's much darker than it was, much darker. And I didn't want it glossy, and I kind of put a very subtle smoothness blur in it, and that kind of took away all that glinting. Much better now. And I also changed the roughness on the stones one, because those two were quite bad for the glint. And I did not change any of the base colour. So you can see it's quite dark there now. But I did not change any of the base colour, and it's still exactly the same, but you can see the difference it's made already. The stones are working really well. The mud is fine, so we're going to keep the mud like that, and it's I quite like it. It's pretty good. Yeah, the stones are working really well. They look very realistic, and the plants one is looking pretty good too. However, the grass is horrific. It just looks like it's died, basically, and it's been stampled on, and it's not the kind of look I was going for. It needs to be quite lush, and grassy, and almost mossy as well. It's kind of, that just looks awful. So looks like it's a big oil slick or something. So I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to delete that. I want it more like this, so it looks green and grassy and planty. I'm not going to look for a long grass. I'm going to look for a planty base, because I want the option to have lots of green in places. I know yeah. So we're going to get rid of this. I'm going to select the texture, add and remove, so it's gone. And already, without it, it looks so much better. You know, these little roots and this plant one's looking pretty cool. Stone one looks almost realistic. It's very cool. I mean, it's really important that we make all these textures look good before we move on, so we're really happy with them, because we don't want to sort of leave a trail of fixes that we have to do. I mean, there's going to be some adjustments to the terrain as we go forward anyway. We're probably going to repaint bits, move bits, even the geometry we're probably going to push around a bit more as we move forward. But, you know, let's get the look working together, and then we can move on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go and find a better texture, and I'll come right back. Okay, so I found a new texture and created it in exactly the same way as we did before. And it's this one here, much lusher, much more interesting to look at. It's got softness in the alpha of the albedo also, but this gives me the option to sort of bring it out. If I want to bring some lush green out, I've got this texture to do that. And let me just run you through what I've done. I've painted my texture, and you can see it here. So I've kind of painted all over now. I've left this this white light in now, so we can just see what's going on here. So there's my texture, and it just gives me the option to dump a load of green vegetation on top of a mound of a hill or something like that, and paint lush greenness around the edges and things, which is what I wanted to do. And once we cover this with detailed sort of meshes and objects, it's going to look pretty cool. So I've just painted it everywhere in here, just green everywhere on the floor, and it's working. It's working for me at this level. It's you know, it's fine. It needs more, for sure. It needs more. You probably noticed I was. Don't know what I'm going to show you to do. It's just been experimenting with some particle effects for mist, which is probably, you probably noticed that. So yeah, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to do that. Yeah. So there you go. Just go ahead and paint yours now. So just go to town. Go crazy with it. You know, spend a lot of time doing it. I mean, I only spent like 10-15 minutes just going around splodging it down, but I'm going to spend a lot more time just working in some detail, working in these textures in various places. I might, feel free to add another one. If you want another type of texture for your terrain, please do, because I've been thinking about adding a lighter one, a lighter, smoother one, just so we can paint pathways a lot more clearly. But once we put grass and that down, they'll pop out. Because once you've got grass, going up against the rocks, and you've got grass and plants and bushes filling the area, your path will stick out and be fine. But having an extra sort of smooth, lighter colour where it's been really trampled into the ground works really well. Coming through here, you can really see, you'll be able to see it. So, go ahead, as a small challenge, go ahead and make your own texture. You don't have to copy everything that I do. Please do your own. Especially up through here. I mean, like I said, these stones are going to change quite dramatically when we get the new ones in, the high poly ones, which we're going to do in the next section. We're going to start texturing them and bringing them in. And I think you'll see quite rapidly that it's all going to start to change quite quickly now, which is really good. It's the fun part. These stones turned out really nicely. So we've just got a bit of the tops of the rocks just shine enough just to make them pop out. That's to do with the smoothness. Make sure the smoothness is correct. So, like I said in the previous, like I said before, you've got to flip it, because roughness in bitmap material, it does it the other way around, because it's how rough it is rather than how smooth it is. So white is quite rough when you in BTM. So if you just invert the smoothness map, it'll be correct. Then play with the brightness of it and the contrast, just to make the areas that you want to, the bits that you want to shine and the bits you don't want to shine, obviously. But I think we've got the balance just about right there, and that's coming through really nice on that bank there, for example, the green on the top, the mud, you can just see the mud, and then the stones coming through, and then all that viney, planty stuff on the ground. And when these trees are down, you'll have greeny moss on it. It's all going to blend really nicely. Okay, so that's mine. I hope you had fun doing that. Looks pretty spooky back there with that new mist. That'll be all the way through. I was just playing with it to see what we could get out of it. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that, so don't worry about that. So let's move on. I'll see you in the next lecture.